Hey, roommate. We're back for story time with Mac, Otto, and Iris. Hello, everybody. When Mac's mellow, he lets us carry him around like a little baby doll like this, but he's just getting so big now. All right, I'm going to hand Mac off because we are ready for the next chapter. Here it is, chapter 39. And in the last chapter, there was a reference to that kite, if you remember. We'll go back and read a couple lines. So, Minli began, but her words died away. As Da Fu pointed toward the horizon, Minli and Dragon followed his hand and finally saw what could only be Never-Ending Mountain, home of the Old Man of the Moon. They're getting so close. The mountain and the Old Man of the Moon. Chapter 39. Never-Ending Mountain was enormous, so large that it made Fruitless Mountain seem like a loose pebble. Minli could not see the tip or the bottom of it, she could not see the tip or the bottom of it, as it seemed to grow out of a gorge so deep that the base must have been at the foundation of the earth. Minli felt as if she were on the edge of the world as she stared across the great gulf separating them from the never-ending mountain. It stood before them like a piece of raw green stone, towering forever into the sky and disappearing into silver mist. There it is, Dafu said. Never-ending mountain. I bet the Old Man of the Moon does live up there, Afu said. The top of this mountain must reach the moon. How do we get up there? Minli asked. She was starting to feel dizzy from staring upward for so long. The dragon looked chagrined. If I could fly, he said, I'd be able to get up there to see the Old Man of the Moon. If you could fly, Afu laughed, you would not need to see him. But, Minli said, it looks like flying is the only way up to see the Old Man of the Moon. There's probably another way, Afu said. Yes, Dafu said. You probably just have to let the Old Man of the Moon know you'd like to come up. How do we do that? Dragon asked. Send a message? Minli looked up at the sky as Dragon and Dafu continued to talk. Send a message, send a message. Dragon's words echoed in Minli's ears, and she felt as if she were searching for a match to light a lantern. The wind gusted at her, as if it were trying to tell her something. She watched Afu's braid fly in the air. As she pulled it down, the cut pieces of her sleeve flapped like the tail of a kite. I know, Minli said excitedly. We'll do it like your ancestors did. She quickly kneeled on the ground and reached in her traveling bag for the 2 borrowed lines. Dragon and the children looked at her curiously as she waved the sheet of paper and the string before them. We can fly a kite up to the Old Man of the Moon, Minli exclaimed. I'll make a kite of the 2 borrowed lines. That's bound to get his attention. Da'afu and the dragon grinned, and together they made the borrowed lines into a kite. They fastened the page from the Book of Fortune onto Minli's chopsticks and attached an end of the red cord to the kite. But as they tried to trim the thread, Afu thought it would look neater if the end didn't dangle. They discovered that the borrowed line could not be cut. It is a string of destiny, Dragon said, as he tried again without success to cut the thread with his claw. Each of them, in succession, had tried to break it. Dafu even tried to snap it with his teeth. It is reasonable to think it is unbreakable. Well, we don't need to trim the string to make the kite, Minli said, but we can't cut the kite free to go to the moon. Just fly it until the string runs out, Dafu said. Then let go. Minli nodded. It made sense. As they gazed at the wound coil, she said, amused, It won't take too long for the string to run out anyway. There's not a lot there. I just hope there's enough for it to fly, Afu said. So, with Dafu running, they began to fly the kite. As the kite rose higher and higher, Minli watched the coil of string in her hand. Is the string running out yet? Each asked over and over again. Is it out yet? But Minley shook her head every time. The thread seemed to endlessly unwind. Even as the kite climbed upward, becoming the size of a name chop mark, the string continued. Slowly it disappeared from view, with the thread scratching the darkening sky with a faint red line. That is a magic string, Dafu said in an awed voice. Of course, the dragon said suddenly. It's a thread of destiny. If we are destined to see the old man of the moon, it will stretch to reach him. You may be destined to meet him then, Afu said, impressed. However, as she looked at the sky turning toward night, she frowned. But we are not. Dafu, we should go back home. We've been gone too long. After the green tiger, we should try to not worry Ama and Agong so much. Don't you have anything you want to ask the old man of the moon? Minley asked. You could change your fortune too. No, Da'afu said, laughing. Why would we want to change our fortune? The children ran down the mountain, their laughter melting into the air. Minley shook her head in confusion, but waved goodbye. As Minley watched them turn into figures of shadows, seeming to dance toward their home and village, she thought of her own Ma and Ba waiting for her in her home, very far away. As the sky deepened like brewing tea, Minley and the dragon looked in silence at the red line reaching to the heavens. But just as the moon rose in the darkness, Minley... Macaroni's knocking over toys. As the sky deepened like brewing tea. What a good description. Minley and the dragon looked in silence at the red line reaching to the heavens, but just as the moon rose in the darkness, Minley felt a sudden jerk on the string. It began to strain and bend. Something's happening, she cried out. Pull the kite in, Dragon said. Bring it back. Something has changed, Minley said as she strained and pulled. It's heavy now. The dragon reached above Minley's head and grabbed the cord. Together they pulled and dragged as they strained. Minley wondered if they were bringing down the moon itself. But there seemed to be no end to the string. As they wound up the thread, it seemed to get thicker and thicker, and when the string became the width of Minley's little finger, a strange clattering, like a wooden wind chime, filled the air. Something has happened to the string, the dragon gasped between heaves. And something strange had happened. The thread, which was really now more like a thick silk rope, seemed to have divided itself into a long, strange web, reinforced with bamboo stalks. As the endless U-shape came toward them, Minley gasped. The string, Minley panted. It's a bridge. As you can see, that little string turned into a red bridge. Wow. As we often say, dun dun dun. Until next time, when we will read Chapter 40. Ooh.
Can I do the transition?
What do you want to say?
The transition is where you just hit the screen and then you press the pause button.
Okay. All right, friends. See you next time. Mwah.
Wait, Mommy, you have to put your hand on the pause button.
Okay.
On the thing. No, just press it when I put my hand on the screen.
Oh, okay. Got it.